Divorce can be an overwhelming experience, but having the right law firm on your side can help. Christy Hafner recently sat down with attorney Patti B. Garner of Patti B. Garner and Associates. She's answering the top 5 questions people ask during a divorce. Take a look.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, first of all, tell us about the law firm.
Well, we are a small law firm. There are 3 attorneys. We focus on the areas of family law, criminal defense, and personal injury.
And today we're talking a bit about divorce.
Yes.
And we have a few questions. So one of the questions we have is, if one parent moves out and leaves the children, does that make it harder for the moving parent to get custody later on down the road?
Yes, it would. For the party who leaves the children in the home with the other parent, it would then be difficult to come back and say that it is in the child's best interest, but yet I left that child with the parent. So it could make it more difficult, absolutely. That's a good question.
Let's say I'm living with my husband and he files divorce papers. Do I have the right to throw him out of my house if we're living together?
That's a good question. When you file for divorce, there are statutory injunctions that go into place. When those go into place, you're supposed to maintain status quo. It would not be a good idea to throw someone out of the house just because they filed for divorce, not until you get to court.
Good information. All right. And the next question is concerning cell phone records. Explain when and why they can be used, and what suggestions do you have as far as having cell phone records used against you?
Well, cell phone records are becoming more and more prevalent, particularly in divorce cases, primarily because it shows a pattern of usage. It's easy to link boyfriends to girlfriends, inappropriate conduct between a spouse and another party. And we use those on a regular basis. The judges don't necessarily like to see them because they're time consuming to go through in a trial, but they're very helpful in proving inappropriate marital conduct or adultery.
Okay, now let's talk about annulment. What do we need to know about an annulment? Can someone file annulment papers and not be aware that the other person's doing it?
Well, anytime somebody files a lawsuit, divorce, annulment, whatever, you have to be served with process. So someone can file and you not know, but you ultimately have to be served before they can proceed with the annulment. Now, there's a very limited reason to get an annulment. Usually it involves some type of fraud. There's 4 or 5 factors, and you would need to see an attorney or contact my office. We'll give you more information, but it's very difficult to get an annulment these days.
Okay, and the final question, if I bought a car during a separation, is that marital property? What is the deal with the car and who gets it?
Well, it depends. That's a classic law school question. It really depends on the length of the marriage, whose funds paid for it, who drove the car. It's very fact specific. Everything in domestic relations law is fact specific, and it pertains especially to your set of circumstances. So I would say you need to contact an attorney.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
To schedule an appointment, give Patti B. Garner and Associates a call at 615-452-423 or visit their website, pattibgarner.com. We've got a link to that website on the More at Midday section of WSMV.com.